Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome everybody to take two of this review. If you want to see what actually happened to take one, twitch.tv/Ewan Spence and you will find out all the details. In the previous review video, we had a look at Manic Miner, which is the first new Spectrum game I've seen in 2020, and I did promise that we'd be looking at a second one in the next review video. That next review video is this review video after the last review video, and I'm turning this into a Billy Connolly sketch, so let's not go there. Instead, let's have a look at another reworking of a classic game, but this time not from the Spectrum. Drink this screenshot in. This is Nintendo Game & Watch Parachute on the ZX Spectrum. And it comes with a really cunning programming twist. But first, let's just have a look at the game and see how it plays. So, let's call this up. Switch back over to the Spectrum screen. There we go. Thank you very much. And scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. We are looking for that one there. And up here. And we will have the delights of ZX Parachute. So, first of all, absolutely brilliant screen. I've got my directions. Absolutely brilliant loading screen. Because this is actually for the Spectrum. So you can download the file, stick on a cassette tape, and go on just now. So, let's just head into here. Classic screen, you get all your LCD elements coming up. You've got a clock that you can set. Now, it's not fully finished. Game B, which is the one that allows you multiple playings as they come through, is not yet implemented. So, we only have Game A from Carl's Oriol, but Carl's really enjoying this. So, here we are. And Game A. By the A. And like the actual game, you've got left and right to move your boat. And you have to catch the parachutists. And if you don't catch them, the shark underneath you in the water's gonna get you. So there we go, 4. Now, those of you with an absolute retro must will probably be already basking in the nostalgia that you're on show here. Those of you who are slightly younger are looking at this and going, what sort of a horrific mess is this? There's no animation. There's a clicker going on. The frames are all over the shop. I don't understand. Well, this was gaming. This is some of the first mobile gaming and certainly pocketable gaming that was out there. It ran off 2-button batteries. You got a good couple of weeks, if not months, out of the gameplay. You had it had the delights. So just like the classic FX91 watch. Oh no, I've lost a guy. The shark's eating him. Ha, 1 miss. You lied 3 lives. You had a watch on it. It could do an hourly alarm. You could set an alarm time so you could wake you up in the morning. It was off an LCD display, but there was no backlight, so you had to shine a torch and a light underneath it. And those of you who are really on top of these things and know the gameplay will realise that we're now at the point where you kind of have to visualise the in-between animation frames because you've got a slight bit of grace to get your boat underneath them in terms of the timing. But this was it. This was the top-selling mobile game of 1991, possibly. Because short of using your watch to work out if you've can time 60 seconds before your helicopter gets run over by a train, cunning Blue Thunder reference there, this was second miss. Second miss. This was as close as you got to frantic action. You know, this was pressure, Nintendo style, long before Mario. And there's the third miss. 98. Now, let's just have a look back at the splash screen, the screen that I took. It's been used for the PR purposes because I think this illustrates it really, really well. There, you can see all the different elements that are on the LCD screen. Now, they've been coloured in very slightly here so you can tell the difference on the original machine. They were all black. You can see that in the actual picture of the actual Game & Watch that we've got there in place of a cassette inlay. Now, here's the fun thing on the Spectrum. All of those are already drawn on the Spectrum screen. If you remember what we did with the Tut Tut game from a couple of months ago, they're all here. They're all on the screen. Let me just bring the mouse in and I do that. They are all here on the screen. It's just that they're in white ink on white paper. So you just don't see them. So rather than redraw the graphic every single time one of these moves, this is a 16 by 16 block. So that's 4 8 by 8 blocks in the Spectrum Tribute. That's just 4 pokes into the screen memory. I just go, don't use black ink, use white ink. And it disappears in the background. So when the next one that comes down, so if we just see here, so the next one that comes down, is going to be the purpley one underneath. You just switch those color attributes back on as well, and back on as well. And that way, the Spectrum, it's not emulating the Game & Watch game, okay? Because much as it was only a small, like 10-bit, it wasn't even 10, I can't remember. It's a ridiculously slow, short processor in the Game & Watches. But the Spectrum couldn't emulate it. But what we've got in this gameplay here is, it is a conversion, but it converts it in the same way of LCD elements. So if we watch that again in terms of the speed of the animation of the Spectrum, in terms of frame to frame over full screen graphics, you realize that there isn't actually any animation going on. It's just cycling the colors like in the LCD display. So it is, in a sense, physically emulating the original game. And that's just wonderful. So these are all the elements on the screen. Now, back in the old days, you could just take your thumb and finger and like push down on the screen and you'd see all the elements. Not this time. Let's just call the game up again and load it in now. You're going to have to keep your eyes sharp on this one. Okay? Screen. There you see all the elements just being drawn onto the screen. And then it flashes the attributes through and puts them all white. Let's watch that once more. Get ready. There they all are. Now they're still there. They're still there on the screen. But they just need to be switched on. And it's just like poke. And you're just going to need to flip the ink colors. There's 3 bits you need to change. At the moment, they'll be set to 111 for each of the attribute blocks 8 by 8, which represents an ink color of white. Because it's G, R, and B, the 3 bits. And then to flip them over, you just go 111. And you flip over 3 bits in the memory. Dead on precise. Let's run through that again and see that in action. I mean, you got to love it. You just have to love it. There will be a point where I will take my PlayStation Portable, which emulates the Spectrum, and then load this on it. So you'll have a PSP emulating a Spectrum, running a conversion using the same techniques as a Nintendo Game & Watch. The most popular mobile game in the 1980s. Not 1980s, but not because you've got everything else popping up, but certainly 1980, maybe even 1981. Code is all up on GitHub, so you can have a look at how everything's done. And if you want to have a go at making the one with the fireman with the trampoline bouncing people out the burning building, yes, please. That was my favourite, and drop that through as well. In terms of technical achievement, yeah, this has got to be recommended. It's inventive. It's managing to, run at the same speed. Everything that you want. And in terms of gameplay, that's a tough one because it relies so much on nostalgia to get it through. And that nostalgia score is really, really high. But in terms of, if you stick this next to Skyrim or No Man's Sky nowadays, it's a little bit lacking. But back in the day, this was the Skyrim No Man's Sky of its time. So it's got to be strong recommended for me. But there again, pretty much everything is. Just enjoy the Star stuff. Simple as that. With 98 to beat. I think this might be close because we can't let another single paratrooper in. Look at that. That'd be worthy of whatever the 1980 equivalent of the Twitch Award of the Month. It's going through 83, 84. The review's over, by the way, folks. I'm just going to see if I can get to 100 on this one. Stay away for... There we go. There, 98, 99, 100! The rest of you can get eaten. That'll do me there. That there is ZX Parachute from Carl's Oriol. We'll have the link down below in the video notes. You can go download that yourself. I'll have the link into GitHub as well, so you can have a look at the code while you are at it. I'm Ewan Spence, Retro Spectrum Gaming here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch as well. Thanks all for watching. We'll catch you back in the next video. So, for now.